Hello, Hatter from House Reviews here for something a little different, but very much in the theme of Christmas. I have never really done a re-review of any sort or reanalysis of any of my old videos, but you know, but I figured with this, I was willing to give it a chance. So 4 years ago, when I was still doing 12 Days of Christmas reviews, I took a look at the at 2000s uh, the 2000 film, Ron Howard and Jim, directed by Ron Howard, and of course, or How the Grinch Stole Christmas, or as everyone mainly refers to as Jim Carrey's The Grinch. And yeah, if you know that review, you would know I did not like it. It's, but the thing is, going into it, I hadn't really had much experience with other adaptations. I only saw bits and pieces of the Chuck Jones Christmas special from the 60s with Boris Karloff, and I hadn't watched the Illumination film with Benedict Cumberbatch. So I and it's because of that I was maybe a little bit more critical than I was. And well, now since I've seen all the other done reviews of the other adaptations, and I think enough time has passed for me to say, you know what, maybe it's worth giving it another chance. And I can comfortably say that I have grown to respect the film. Now, I know well, I say I respect it. Does it really mean that I fully enjoy it? I still can't say that. However, I do see what this film does get right, and where enjoyment can come from it. But it still means I'm going to be critical. I am critical over things I don't like. It's kind of strange, but in many ways, this film is a very divisive piece between the people who actually love the film and the people who do not. And well, let's just maybe go over it a bit more and see where my opinions have changed and where certain other issues have popped up. Because yeah, there's been a few other changes. Starting off, I think we should go when it comes to the story. Now, I'm not going to go over the story for a third time. We all know it, and you know, so it would be redundant I go over it again. But going into it. But when it comes to telling the story as it is, I do think Ron Howard and his team did a good job extending the original book and you know giving it more of a feature-length format. The the big thing I have to reach, although you have to obviously add some things into it to make it more of a feature-length structure. And I don't know, not everything of it fully works. I do like the extra scenes of showing the Grinch do things, and I can understand why you do that. He's given more, everyone loves the Grinch. He's the most iconic thing in it. But some of the other decisions they make to extend it is interesting to say at least. Like expanding Cindy Lou is obviously the big one, and I guess also finding time to give the Grinch a full-on backstory as to why he hates Christmas. And yeah, that was one of the main things I think I was critical over in my original review, that everything regarding the backstory. And I don't know, now I am okay with I am actually accepting of why he hates Christmas so much with this backstory. I do see the pros of it. It makes sense why he would feel this way. Being ridiculed the way he was, and the one time he thought he could actually, he thought he was going to have a good Christmas. It obviously went backwards, and made things even worse to the point that he became cynical. But my problem with that is, well, the fact is, even though he was, very much an orphan, he was raised by two old ladies who did really care for him. And I don't know, I still find it weird that he hates everything about Christmas and hates everyone in Whoville, but those two ladies, they were really never mean to him, and I'm still like, surely with the way he is, he would probably be a bit more, forgiving and would at least, not try and be a, a jerk to them. I I don't, but yet again, I know this is basically the way the Grinch was written and what everyone thinks of him, but and I guess that probably would work more for the Cumberbatch version, but with my opinions on that. But it's just something that continues to irk me a bit. Like, yeah, I don't know. I reckon it could have been handled better. Um, yeah, but you know, as I said, it's sort of you have to really compare with how the Grinch is portrayed in this, and well,
Hate, 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 hate. Double hate. Loathe entirely.
okay, let's get on to the acting, and let's just start with talking about the film's possibly greatest strength and greatest fault, depending on each person. Jim Carrey. I said it before in my original review that for the longest time, and in many ways, could be still possible even now, that I was a very big, uh, I was never really a big fan of Jim Carrey. And part, and I think part of the reason is because while he has starred in films that I really do enjoy him in, he also has the films that I cannot get really annoyed with him. He can be he's a very split they have very split opinions on him. And I definitely remember thinking saying that for the longest time, that The Grinch was probably his weakest film. With probably Lemony Snicket probably a close second. Yeah, as Count Olaf. But and well, and it's pretty easy to see why when he goes over the top and acts too much and too annoying, he gets really under my skin for the longest time. However, as time has gone on, I have learned to appreciate a bit more of this. I mean, part of the reason might be due to the fact that the makeup done on him is so great. I mean, I can understand why it got nominated and I think won the Oscar for that year, for the account for best makeup. Yeah, at least he does act like how the Grinch you would think would act when he's when he's being selfish and mean and all that. But I do think when he's alone at various points or just with his dog Max, this is where he really does shine a lot. I don't know. Those scenes when he isn't around the people of Whoville, they work the best for me. Yeah, and though when he's with them, that's when things go a little bit too a little bit down south. But as I said, you know, his performance has grown on me, and to be fair, he does, as I said, he does get a few good lines here and there that make me chuckle.
5 o'clock, solve world hunger. Tell no one. 5:30, jazzercise. 6:30, dinner with me. I can't cancel that again.
So yeah, Carrie has improved a bit for me with this. Uh, but I'd say the same for the other actors. I don't really know for sure. I mean, I don't hate any of these guys, but if their performances, much like how I think of Carrie, yeah, can be very split. Like, I mean, some work. I mean, I do enjoy Anthony Hopkins as the narrator. He was probably the best choice they could have picked, and he's a better choice than Pharrell Williams in the Illumination film. Jeffrey Tambor, I know, has probably a bit of a divided opinion on him now, considering some of his uh, you know, his exposure during the Me Too movement and all that. But no, I think he's okay. But well, I can put up with him, but I wouldn't say his performance is that good. I can judge it on its own without comparing it to without thinking about his him in real life. But really, the other person that I was mainly critical to is Taylor Momsen as Cindy Lou. And look, I'm gonna say this, knowing what I know now about Taylor Momsen and her how she was bullied after doing this film, you know, I'm not gonna try. I'm trying to be a little bit more, you know. It just I do feel very sympathetic, and I wish, and I was, and personally, I wish that that never happened. And it kind of reminds me a lot of everything Jeanette McCurdy faced with her time as a child actress. Though with that said, I do have issues with Cindy Lou just because I don't know what she worked well in the book because she was only in it for one scene and just it what that one scene you could sort of get a bit out of it. It was left ambiguous, but you could add your own thoughts to it. It worked. With this, the fact that it gave her more of a personality and expanded on her, which, to be fair, from any character in the original book, the original Dr. Seuss book, it would probably be difficult. But I don't know, I just find a bit overly sweet and cutesy, like a bit like the Olsen twins in Full House. I don't know, even that smile, I don't know, probably has something to do with the makeup, which I should mention. Well, I think the makeup on the Grinch is great. The makeup on the Who's just irks me a little bit. His nose is like, jeez. And look, I think Taylor did a decent job what she was given. I just don't think I can fully get behind Cindy Lou in this. Although, maybe she is a lot better than Cindy Lou in the Elimination film. I don't know. I guess the only other thing I should mention is with with the story itself. It's mainly showing the Grinch just being the Grinch, and he only starts his plan to steal Christmas after getting humiliated once more at a party. And that's probably the one thing I think the Elimination film gets better, because he actually, yeah, he failed. He he you basically see for the entirety of the second third of the film him doing his plan to steal Christmas. Like I don't know, the film is called How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Show me more of him planning his heist and not leaving to the final 30 minutes. At least with Chuck Jones short, it was well they had to work for the time frame. They did it right. Yeah. I mean, when it comes to everything else in this, fine. I mean, I do enjoy the song Where Are You Christmas. It is a good song. I mean, Taylor Momsen did a good job performing her part. I'm pretty sure that was her. Maybe she was dubbed over. I don't know. And the Faith Hill remix that plays in the credits is really strong too. I mean, really, it's yeah, it's really strong. And I love, and something I should say, much like the original review, I love the set design. It looks fantastic. They definitely the the I think it may even be better than the makeup because, as I said, I feel a little bit mixed over the makeup done on the Who's. But yeah, the set the Whoville looks like absolutely fantastic. It looks great, and yeah, I think I wish that I wonder if that got nominated for an Oscar for the set design. Well, though, I mean, yeah, the color palette it is shot mainly muted and dark, which yeah, you could provide a bit more of a life to it, like the illuminations that like the animated one. But they could have been done well. And I especially am critical over the how much of the film is slanted. Oh, jeez, the tilted angle. That's one thing I didn't bring up in my original review, but I do have to address it now. How much time the shots are just absolutely slanted like this? Like, get doing it for scenes involving Jim Carrey, but when you're in Whoville, it is still slanted. It just makes no sense. In fact, you know what? This came out the exact same year as Battlefield Earth, and I think that was probably why people didn't talk about it that much because they'll put off more of how awful Battlefield Earth was and their overuse of it. People hate this camera shot when it's overly done, and I'm going to bring it up when I want to bring it up with this. So yeah, the slanted shots are just keep the camera straight. If you want to do a Jim Carrey, if they want to do it just with mainly shots of the Grinch, that's fine. But don't do it extensively. So yeah, you might be still thinking, do if I'm still openly critical of it, why am I? Do I learn to respect it? Well, that's the thing. Even if I hate a film, I can still respect it and see where it's trying to come. And, you know, and I understand why it connects with a lot of people and, is a classic in some ways. And yes, that even is the same thing with Barbie. I don't like that film, but I can at least respect it. So just keep that. So can you at least accept that to all you fans? I do not like the film, but I can understand why you all like it, and I respect it for it. And it's the same thing here. I think I can see why it's a Christmas classic, and I do see strengths in it that I didn't notice before. Whether or not and while I still can't say I enjoy it, it is it is clear to see why it's a Christmas classic, and why it connects with a lot of people. I definitely think it's worth people watching it now, and I think people should watch it and see what you think of it. Whether you do like it, whether you think it's better than what people take it for, or something else. But it's up for debate. And as I said, I'm glad I did this after watching the Chuck Jones short and the Illumination film. It's probably helped me understand a bit more as to why people like it. You know, and I think that's probably the best compliment I can give for this. Yeah, I'm not going to change. I'm not changing my score because I think maybe it was around 4 out of 10 hair stars when I did this back in 2020. So maybe it is still 4, maybe 4.4. I can't say 4.5 or 4.4. You know. But yeah, what I understand why people like it now, and though I'm not a fan, at least I can respect it. So yeah, you know what? I'm kind of glad I did this. Maybe I need to rethink and do some other stuff, redo some other reviews, if my opinions have changed on that is. Well, in terms of what's next, hopefully I'll get reviews done before the end of the year of Wallace and Gromit Vengeance Most Foul and Sonic the Hedgehog 3, and maybe even a video game here and there, but well, the video game part we'll just have to wait and see. In the meantime, Hassel from Reviews is out, and I shall see you next time. Ciao.